Very warm and pleasant good morning again to all my dear students of class 2. Today I am here again to start a new lesson in your English 2. The name of the chapter is Giant, chapter number 11, Giant, page number 78. So I hope you all have completed your previous chapter question answers, fill in the blanks, tick the correct option, everything. You all got the answers in a WhatsApp group and I hope you have completed all the work. Don't keep anything pending for later because it will get piled up and it will be difficult for you all to complete it later on. Okay, so whenever you get homework, take out some time from your busy schedule and you all can complete your work in time. Okay, so before getting started with the chapter, what do you understand by giant? What comes in your mind when I say giant? Giant means something very huge, big. Okay, that is giant. So you all see those movies, English movies, superhero movies and all. There are those people with big feet, big hands. They are huge, they are tall. Giant means something very huge. Okay, big. So let's get started with the poem and find out what's there in the poem. The author of the poem is Elizabeth Sawyer. What is the name of the author? Elizabeth Sawyer. Okay, so let's get started with the poem and let's find out what's there in the poem. It's a short poem and we will see what's there in the poem now. Let's get started again. So let's get started with the poem. 1 foot in the river, 1 foot in the lake. What a wonderful strides a giant can take. The water goes squish when he wiggles his toes. Okay, so here the author is trying to say 1 foot in the river. He keeps his 1 foot in the river and other foot in the lake. What a wonderful strides a giant can take. What do you mean by strides? S-T-R-I-D-E-S. Strides means to walk with a long step. When you try to take a long step and walk, when you walk normally, that is known as walk. And when you take long step, when you try to take long step and walk, that is known as strides. S-T-R-I-D-E-S. It is pronounced as strides. Okay, to walk with long steps. That is the meaning of strides. What a wonderful strides a giant can take. The water goes squish when you step in the water with a force or something. You keep your foot in the water, it brings that sound, right? Squish. So the author is saying the water goes squish when he wiggles his toes. The water goes squish when he wiggles his toes. Wiggles. What is the meaning of wiggle? To move or cause to move up and down from side to side with small rapid movement. Like basically wiggle means to twist. Okay, to move from up to to move or cause to move from down, up and down, and from side to side with a rapid movement, small rapid movement. Okay, so the water goes squish when he wiggles his toes. Like he's saying that when he keeps his foot in the water, he wiggles it, he twists and turns his foot. Okay, when he twists and turns his foot, then that makes it wiggles. The water, it wiggles. Okay, then oh giant, have fun as anyone knows. His red rubber boots reach up to his knees. Why puddles are nothing to giant like me. So here you can see the picture. There is this boy and a girl. This boy is putting his leg, this squish. You all can see the splash of water here. That is known as squish. Okay. So, oh giant, have fun as anyone knows. His red rubber boots reach up to his knees. You all can see he's wearing a red rubber boot which is up to his knees also. Why puddles are nothing to giant like me. So here the author is saying why puddles. Small puddles means, puddle means where the small pond kind of thing where water gathers. There is a small hole in the ground and where the water goes and gathers there, that is known as puddle. Puddle means the small places where the water gathers. Okay, you all have seen in the roads also, where the roads are a little bit damaged and little bit like there is a space in the ground, the water goes and gathers there. That is known as puddle, small pond. Okay, small pond kind of thing which is made out of rainwater. They are known as puddles. So why puddles are nothing to giant like me? So this is a very short story, and when we read a poem or when we learn a poem, it's very important to know who is telling the poem, like who is narrating the story. Okay, here you can see in the picture there is this frog also. There are frogs in the picture, right? So the author is trying to tell you the poem in perspective through the frogs. Okay, this frog, they are saying that this why oh giant, have fun, as anyone knows, red rubber boots reach up to his knees. Why puddles are nothing to giant like me? So here the frog, they are saying why frog are very small, right? They get drowned. They live in water, you know that. For them, we human being, this boy and girl, they are very huge. They are like giant for them. So he is trying to say that this frog, they are trying to say that why can't we go and step in water like as he does? Because if we go and step in the water like that, we'll get drowned. So this poem is basically narrated by the frogs. While reading a poem, it's very important to know the perspective of the poem. It's very important to know that who is telling the poem, through whose perspective we are listening to the poem or learning the poem. Okay, so here these frogs, they are saying that these frogs are small, you know that. So for them, we human beings are very giant. So this boy is also very giant, and he's wearing this red rubber boots also. It's huge for them. Like if he put his step on him, then they die. So the frogs, they are trying to say that, oh giant, have fun. They are saying that giant, you can have fun, as anyone knows, his red rubber boots reach up to his knees. So he's wearing a red rubber boots which is up to his knees also. Why puddles are nothing to giant like me? So they are saying that this puddles, small puddles, they are nothing for them. Okay, so you have fun, giant. So the frog is saying you can have fun. Okay, this is a very short poem, and it's narrated by the author of the poem is Elizabeth Sawyer, and the poem is narrated by these frogs. Okay, the author has placed the poem through frogs' perspective. Okay, so it's very important to know that when we read a poem, it's very important to know the perspective, as I said before also. So that's all. It's a very short poem and a short and sweet poem. So we will move on to the exercise and we'll discuss the exercise, and later you'll get the answers in your WhatsApp group. You all know that now. So let's move on to the exercise. I hope you understood the poem now. I told you through whose perspective the author is trying to explain you the poem. It's through the frog perspective. For the frog, the small boy and girl, they were huge. They were giant for them. Okay, so now let's move on to the exercise and let's do the exercise now. The poem is about, tick the correct option first, page number 80. Okay, the poem is about an elf, a giant. The poem is about a giant. So giant is the right answer. The giant is option A is small, option B is tall. The giant is very tall. Okay, option B. The giant wears red rubber boot on his feet or elbow. Yes, obviously he'll wear his boots on feet only. We don't wear boots in hand, right? So the correct answer is feet. So now fill in the blanks with words from the poem. Okay, the giant likes to wiggle his, what does he wiggle? He wiggles his toes. Number 2, he wears dash on his feet. What does he wear? Boots, red rubber boots. The giant takes wonderful, what he takes? Wonderful strides, S-T-R-I-D-E-S. Strides means to walk with a long step. To take long step and walk. That is known as strides. Okay. So, question and answer now. Where does the giant put his feet? Where does he put his feet? He put his feet on the water. He puts his feet on the water and the water goes squish. Yes. So, why does he wiggle his toes? Why do you think he wiggle his toes? He wiggle his toes because the water goes squish when he wiggles his toes. So he likes that, maybe he's liking that squish sound, the water, how the water squish. So that's why he's putting his like toes. That's why he wiggles his toes. Okay, the water goes squish. That's why, to make the water go squish, he wiggles his toes. Okay. Describe the giant boots. What kind of boot the giant was wearing? He was wearing red rubber boots which was up to his knees. You all know that. It's a very short poem, right? So who do you think is the giant in the poem? Who do you think is the giant in the poem? Yes, the boy with the red rubber boot. The boy here is the giant in the poem. So it's a very short poem, and I hope you understood the poem. Now what you will do, you will read the poem now. As I every time say, you will read the poem. You can learn the poem also by heart it. It's a very short poem. Okay, so when we get back to school, I will ask you to narrate the poem also. Okay, you all can read the poem and write it down in your notebook also. First of all, write down the chapter 11 giant and write down this poem in your notebook first. Then only you will do the exercise. Okay, so now we'll meet in the next video now with a new chapter, and you'll get all your question answers in your WhatsApp group. And do follow the online classes regularly and do the online test question also. Okay, attempt every time, you should attempt that. Okay, now that's all for today. We'll meet in the next video with a new lesson in your English 2 again. Till then, stay at home, be a good student, follow your online classes regularly, and see you all in the next video. Have a good day, my dear students, and stay safe at home. Okay, have a good day again.